I'll share with you some of my experiences of meditation that I've had during samadhi or extreme blissful state, and that's the best words that I can find out to describe my situation which I experienced during my meditation. A body is atomic vibrations producing energy to acquire happiness. Yoga's basic breathing exercises and Ayurveda's herbs can create immeasurable energy within our bodies. It stimulates atomic vibrations to boost brain power and boost immunity, fights almost any disease, and keeps us at a blissful state. Pranayam, breathing from alternate nostrils, long breaths, holding inhaled and exhaled breath, stimulating Om sounds, and consuming Ayurvedic herbs like walnuts, garlic, ginger, neem leaves, tinospora, giloy, basil, tulsi, turmeric, honey, black caraway, cinnamon, pepper, lemon, coconut, and olive oil is a secret to good health that which no pharmaceutical will ever tell us. Genetically modified foods and mobile phone radiations are inducing disease and devastating our ecosystem. No virus or disease can affect us if we practice this with meditation. It will boost our consciousness to super conscious state. My core desire is to help all mankind and environment. May Mother Nature awares all mankind. Nothing is new, nothing is old, and neither will it ever be. Thousands of years ago, a man was being born from a mother's womb, and it's the same now. And it's the same with everything in this world. It's just in our minds that we interpret as olden times and modern times, but actually, it's none. We think we live in a world having directions like east or west, but even that's false. In reality, there's no time even. We have no age, and we are immortal forever. Our birth into the organic life form was a separation from the supreme consciousness with a purpose to learn. And to learn, we have to be in some kind of matter. And that matter has to fight for existence, to make a comfortable place for himself. And when we face problems, we gain experiences and we learn more and more until we realize the truth and work on to merge back into the supreme consciousness. Supreme consciousness is the same as cosmic consciousness. This process takes millions of years. Each one of us and the human beings has evolved from thousands and thousands of life forms, from all the beings, from all the animals and all the plants, and kept on facing problems, sometimes eaten by other animals, bigger animals, sometimes as a fish being eaten by the bigger fish, and sometimes being themselves the bigger fish and eating the smaller ones. We faced all sorts of problems. Sometimes as a tree facing the harsh desertic winds and again gaining experiences. So that gets us to a conclusion that we are a part of everything and everything is a part of us. We've even taken the form of metals and all sorts of rock forms and slowly evolving into a progressive life form. Basically, we've taken birth in the form of everything imaginable and unimaginable, and finally taking birth as a human being. And it's now up to us, either we go into progression or regression, meaning that either we go forward or backward. It depends upon our deeds, upon our acts. Like if we do evil acts and we behave bad, we are going to go into regression. We are going to go into much lower forms of life forms. And if we do everything good, then we are going to go into progression. The only difference between all other life forms and a human being is that is the realization of truth. We can realize the truth and we can act on this. What we've got to realize is that we are two different life forms working as one. First is our physical life form that we see, that's our body, our hands, eyes, nose, ears, hair, everything. And the other is our consciousness, which is 7 inches surrounding our whole body and it's invisible. And this thick layer of consciousness which is surrounding all over us, this is the real you, this is the real us, this is life. I'll give you an example. Nobody has ever seen air, but we know it's there. And if I ask you to prove it, you're going to move your hand like this, you're going to feel the air, and you're going to prove it that yes, it's there. The same way, to prove our consciousness, if move our hands closer like this, and if we move them back and forth, we feel some kind of a magnetic pull in both our hands. This is nothing but our consciousness. It goes in and out of our body in the form of breath. What we normally think of breathing is that we are breathing in oxygen that's being absorbed into our lungs. But normally we are breathing in our consciousness. That's consciousness that's going in and out of our body every time, and it's being absorbed by each and every cell of our body, and that is life. And yes, oxygen is also being absorbed by our lungs, but it's not that oxygen is being absorbed, It's the consciousness that's making it absorb into our lungs. What we normally think as reality isn't. Like normally if I ask you a simple question that can you see more during the day or during the night? Your answer will definitely be during the day. And now I tell you that at night we can see the stars which are millions and millions of light years away, and during the day we can just our sight is limited to the ozone which is reflecting our sight back and is just few miles away. Same way, the gravitational pull which seems in the earth is exactly the opposite. It's not that the earth is pulling everything and that's the gravitation. It's some kind of a phenomena, some kind of push from the etheric space that's keeping everything in its proper place. To prove it, I asked you the same question as I asked earlier. I asked you to hold a glass of water and hold it like at this height, and I asked you to leave it. It'll fall down. If you leave it, it'll break and spill the water all around. Now take the example of this glass of water and our planet Earth. Our planet Earth is standing on nothing. There's nothing on the sides that it's standing on. It's resting on nothing. Scientists say that it's the gravitational pull of other planets which keeps each other in the proper place. But it's false in reality. It's the etheric space that keeps everything in its proper place. And it's the etheric space that's the real reality. It's the cosmic consciousness. We are a part of it. That is our real self. That is the real you. There is only one motive or desire of a man's life form, that is to work on to acquire happiness. There is absolutely nothing else that a man desires. There are three forms of happiness. Number one, short term happiness that is acquired from materialistic possessions. Number two, temporary but long term happiness acquired by relationships. Number three, permanent eternal happiness, a form of eternal blissful state acquired by fulfilling the former two and realizing the true purpose of our consciousness, realizing the truth. It can be gained through meditation, yoga, mantra jap, and many more higher forms of karma yoga. However, I gained it through meditation, yoga, and Shri Gayatri Mantra Jap. If you're not defined by the visions of your future, you're stuck and left with the memories of your past, and you'll be predictable in your life. Then it's no longer your personality is creating your personal reality. Now your personal reality is creating your personality. So it's time to meditate, disconnect from the environment and change the entire patterns of your neurological behavior. Every war is a war against ourselves. Our inner world is the place where the revolution must first take place. What you resist persists. To ascertain the truth, one must doubt all traditions, scriptures, and teachings, and all the content of one's mind and senses.